Chris Roberts here for Fight Up TV. I'm joined by Frank Smith. How's things?
Very good, mate. Very good. Nice little break over Christmas, ready to kick back off and start where we left 2018.
So we're here for the Amir Khan press conference. How big is this for Amir Khan?
Massive fight. You know, he's never been shy of taking a challenge, and as he's shown in his career so far, you know, he is going in there with possibly pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world right now, who's dominated. You know, he's a three weight division world champion. You know, we've been lucky enough to work with him when he fought Ricky Burns, Julius Indongo. He's a great talent. But Amir has been in the game for a long time. He's done a lot for the sport of boxing, and he's performed. You know, he's taken every fight out there he could have done. Always giving it 100%. Always been in entertaining fights. You know, and I'm sure this will be no different. I think he's got. This is natural. Where he fought Canelo, 2 weights above his natural. This is a natural weight for him. So I think he actually gets the chance now to try and prove himself in one of the biggest fights he's ever had.
I don't want to sort of like harp on about, you know, the Kell Brook situation, but it is relevant. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's been talked about for a long time. How disappointing from a Matchroom and Sky perspective was it that fight didn't go ahead?
Yeah, obviously, look, it was a fight everyone wanted to see, the British public, we did ourselves, but we did everything we could to try and make it happen. You know, I don't think we could have done much more, whether financially or, you know, from a planning perspective, there's not much more we could have done. But look, you can't knock him for taking this fight. We've now got to go and do a job for Kell Brook and deliver a huge fight for him as well. That's our job. But, you know, at the end of the day, the fighters, it's their decision because they're the guys getting in the ring. And this is the fight he wanted. So, you know, there's not much more we could have done. And this is it. We got to now look forward to this fight because it's a massive fight as well. Can
the Kell Brook fight still happen?
You never know in boxing, dude. You never know what's going to happen. I think everyone said if it was going to happen, now was the time. But who knows? I don't. You know, I think it's more unlikely than it was at the end of December. But, you know, if this Terence Crawford fight wouldn't have come up, he would have been fighting Kell Brook. But this opportunity's come up, and he wants to take on this fight.
And are you looking to work with Amir Khan post this fight? Obviously, you know, we mentioned the disappointment of, you know, not getting the Kell Brook fight on. Obviously, it was a 3-fight deal. Any sort of negotiations to kind of take that forward? I'm not sure whether Amir talked in the press conference then about sort of his ambitions of coming back to the UK. I know he's popular in the US. But yeah, what would you see sort of going forward, you know, after this sort of final fight of the deal?
Yeah, definitely. Look, we've had a great relationship with Amir and his team in the last couple of fights. We're working on this fight with him as well. So, you know, we want to carry on the partnership together. So, you know, once this fight's out of the way, then it's something we can look at. But as I say, we've all got on very well, and it's been a great couple of fights we've had with him. So let's see what happens. But it's definitely something we want to do.
And I just want to talk about the Anthony Joshua situation. I know an offer has actually gone into Dillian White this week. Have you got any updates on that situation at the moment?
I think you'll see more info later this week, to be honest. Eddie spoke about it at length yesterday in various interviews, I believe. But everyone's, you know, we want to make the biggest fights. So now it's our job to go out and try and make those fights. So you'll see more later this week, I believe.
It seems, Frank, that, I mean, it's probably fair to say that it almost seems like all parties involved, whether it be sort of Fury or Wilder. I know there's sort of a bit of sort of the Wilder, you know, Matchroom isn't quite flowing, but it seems that, you know, particularly with potentially, you know, Frank Warren, Matchroom, there seems to be a potential of some open dialogue for that fight to happen. I know Eddie was talking yesterday about the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight. That sounds to me like that's probably more realistic than ever, whether it happens or not. But it seems like it's sort of people are on the same page.
Yeah. No, look, I think there's definitely a possibility with all of these fights. So, you know, we've now got to work through the various options. You know, there's probably 4 key options there, and, you know, we want to make the best fights for Anthony Joshua, and he wants to fight the best. So we've now got to go out there and try and finalise one of those.
And there's talk of Klitschko coming back into the scene.
I don't know where that's all come from. I think that's all rumours. But I mean, what is he? He's 42 now. Yeah. I mean, he's had 2 years out. by April. It's another long gap to have out. You know, I think he gave everything in his last fight against Anthony Joshua. It was a great fight. I don't think it'll happen. But again, it's boxing. You never know.
It's probably got some sellability with the casual market potentially. I've seen a lot of sort of boxing polls, obviously Twitter and everything else. Not so much interest in it, but you know, maybe.
Well, look,
maybe
to the casual audience, to the sporting audience,
it's a name, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a massive name. He's a massive name. So, see what happens.
And Usyk, what's sort of the plan for him? Obviously, you know, he's keen to move up to heavyweight. Is there any sort of plans or anything in motion with him?
Yeah, there's a lot of talks going on to try and finalise the next steps. I think you'll see news on that in probably the next 2 weeks with Usyk and his next fight. So, you know, there's a lot of talks and a lot of options for him to look at, whether cruiserweight or heavyweight.
And another one, obviously, Josh Warrington and Kid Galahad situation.
First bid 24th of January, I believe.
Right. Okay. So by the end of the month, we should have an answer.
Should know what's going on with it.
Either way on that.
Yep.
But yeah, no, again, another potential UK big fight. So it's all good. But yeah, thanks very much for talking to Fight Up TV.
No problem, mate. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure. Good
Thanks
man.
very much, mate. Cheers. Cheers, pal.